The Press Box presents Cage Side with Christopher James. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and we're going to focus on the future of MMA, the rising stars, if you will. He just recently won the Ultimate Fighter Season 16. He's an Army Ranger, he's a great patriot, and he's an amazing fighter. I'm talking about Colton Smith. So stay tuned. Cage Side with Christopher James. We'll be right back.
I'm Randy Couture. You're watching Cage Side with Christopher James.
Cage Side with Christopher James is brought to you by The Press Box and Eric J. Herman, attorney at law. Hey, welcome back to Cage Side with Christopher James. And like I said, we're going to talk today about the future of MMA, the rising stars, the next generation of superstar fighters. And one of the places the XFC has been very successful in finding the best young up-and-coming fighters is our XFC Open fighter tryouts. Now, our next tryout takes place March 9th at Flow MMA in Palatine, Illinois. If you want to find out how to become part of that and take your shot at becoming the next MMA superstar, just go to officialxfc.com for all the details. Now, I want to show you a piece right now that we filmed at the very first XFC Open fighter tryout. It's called Evolution, and it shows the rise of a star as they make their way into the world of MMA. So here it is right now. Check it out. I'm Christopher James with the XFC, the Extreme Fighting Championships. Today, we're going to meet some people that are trying to achieve their dream of becoming the next great mixed martial arts fighter. So they're going to get their shot. They're going to try to earn a spot to fight for the XFC. So follow me and watch their journey.
The sport's 20 years old. I knew the next generation of fighters are more talented than the champions of today. Those are the fighters I wanted to focus on. Our job is to find the most talented fighters, put them on a big stage, and let them be seen. Once they are seen, they become names. We had our winner, our first winner, which was Chris Barnett. This is unheard of in MMA. He fought a guy with 75 pro fights. Chris was making his pro debut.
The first tryout, I saw, the flyers and stuff, went to it, went in there, impressed them, laid it all out. Everything I had, any tricks I had in my bag, I laid it out, because this is an opportunity right here, Don't let this slip away. Technically, I've had 3 fights in under a year. Fighters die for that, and this is all because of XFC. They're gonna get you fights.
This is my dream. This is my goal. It's gonna be literally a dream come true. I'll be able to get my name out there, get sponsorships, and enable myself to fight full time, which is what I want to do. I want to be a professional fighter.
I kind of had to take control over, so just getting to this point is a very big deal for me. So if I get the chance to win out, it would mean a lot.
That kid, I impressed me. He's already impressed me. He's working. Keep this stuff.
And we're going to do something a little different this time. We're going to pick 2 winners.
I mean, everything. This is one of my dreams, to be a fighter, to go out there and compete, push myself, just to test my abilities, see what I can do.
This is an opportunity for them to get on a big show. And we're looking forward to them coming to St. Pete Times Forum. It's going to be intimidating for them. It usually is for these young guys, when those stage, the curtain opens, and they're looking at 8,000 to 10,000 people. And we love this. It's very exciting to us when we do these shows because every fighter, it's the biggest fight of their career. And when you can put a card together and every fighter is fighting the biggest fight of his career, you're going to have great fights. So, I'm sure we won't disappoint.
Man, I love watching that stuff. I love seeing a young fighter making his way to the top of the MMA world. Now, if you noticed in that video, there were guys like Chris Barnett, our first open fighter tryout winner, Mariana Kafet, who was very successful at the XFC. If you look in there too and you look closely, you'll see notorious Nick Newell, who is the current reigning XFC lightweight champion of the world. These guys all got their start in XFC Open Fighter tryout, and that's why you know their names. Now, there's a few other guys, obviously, that you know about from the XFC that weren't in that tryout. Joby Sanchez won his tryout, had a successful debut for the XFC. Jason Hicks, who will be fighting on the next XFC card, is also undefeated in the XFC after winning an Open Fighter tryout. Now, when we come back, we're going to be talking to Jason Hicks' opponent, Scotty Hot Sauce Holtzman, another young superstar making his way through the MMA ranks. So stay tuned. Cage Side with Christopher James. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? It's Uriah Faber, the California Kid, and you're watching Cage Side with Christopher James on MyTV.
Do you need a criminal attorney? Call Eric J. Herman, attorney at law. Non-attorney spokesperson. Walter's Press Box. Tampa's #1 sports bar for over 20 years. The Press Box, Tampa's favorite place to watch the big game and party. We show all the NFL games and every other major sporting event in the world, including MMA. (222) South Dale Mabry Highway, Tampa, Florida.
Come on down and see us at the Press Box.
And now it's time to talk to two of the XFC's young rising stars. So here's my interviews with Nate the Train Landwehr and Scotty Hot Sauce Holtzman. I am standing with a man who just went 2-0. Crazy fight, I got to tell you, man. There was bad blood all through it, from the locker room to the cage, and then even after the fight. But this man right here went to work. Nate the Train Landwehr, man. How you feeling right now, brother?
I'm feeling great. 2-0. I just beat a 6-1 guy. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. I came here. I got a chance last time on the undercard. They liked what they seen. They gave me another chance on the national TV. I couldn't ask for another blessing better than that opportunity. Big time, high stakes. I came out. I did what I was training to do. I won the fight. I hit the backflip.
He did hit the backflip, and, you know, you'll probably see the highlights on my show here very shortly. Now, listen, there was a lot of heat going on with you guys, man. I heard there was some bad blood back in the locker room before the fight. Is that what normally goes on with you, or just like something completely out of the blue that happened tonight?
I was trying to be respectful to him. Before I came out, he just literally ran up on me, and he was bad mouthing, trash talking right before the fight. So I knocked him out, and I taunted his ass after that. I did my talk. I had the last word.
Yeah, well, you had the last word inside the cage by beating him. Did you think it was necessary to taunt him, or do you kind of feel bad for that, or something you would do again?
No, if I could go back, I'll taunt him again, because if he would have beat me, he'd have definitely taunted me, for sure.
Well, what do you think's coming up next for you with the XFC?
Somebody at 145 pounds, anybody.
Doesn't matter who Prisco throws at you, you're going to take any fight, anytime, any place?
Anytime, any place, give me a notice, and I'm there. Getting the paycheck, that's what it's about.
Would you rematch right?
Yeah, I mean, if he would rematch me, I'd rematch him in a heartbeat.
Now, let me ask you something. You just said it's about the paycheck. That's what it's about. Is it really about the paycheck, or is it about the fight, man?
No, it's really about the fight, but you can't fight without money. You can't live without money, and you can't quit your day job without getting paid better. So as long as I'm not getting paid enough to quit my day job, I'm just going to be a painter.
A painter?
Yeah, that's what I do. I paint houses.
Cool. Listen, my house needs a little work, so maybe come down to Tampa, chill out in the sun, brother, and we'll hang out and party.
Sure. I'll do it all up for you.
All right, anything you want to say to John Prisco or anybody else from XFC before I let you go?
Thanks for the opportunity. Give me another one. I'm gonna show my skills one more time.
All right, and how do we follow you on Twitter and Facebook? What do we do?
I don't have a Twitter, but you can follow me on Nate W. Landwehr at Facebook.
This is Nate the Train Landwehr. I'm Christopher James for the XFC, and we'll see you later.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, buddy. And this guy right here is probably the fastest rising star in the XFC right now. If you don't know who he is, let me introduce you to the one and only Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, brother. It's an honor to have you stand here with me, man. You're 3-0 in the XFC. You're 3-0 as a pro. Big things in your future, man. The crowd was lit up for you tonight. The funny dudes in the red morph suits. What's going on with your world right now?
Man, I don't know. It's an honor to be able to fight in my hometown, you know, and those fans, you know, it could be the other way around. I could have nobody coming to watch me, so, you know, they can wear whatever they want. I don't care. You know, they get rowdy out there. I just appreciate the support either way.
So how do you feel about your performance tonight? Did it go exactly the way you wanted, or was there a couple of glitches in your game?
Well, No, I think it went exactly how I wanted it. I wanted to make a statement. You know, he had a lot of trash talk, and I think tonight was about going out and earning my respect. You know, he told me that I hadn't fought anybody and I don't deserve any respect, so I went out there and took it. And that was what tonight was all about, I think. So I just wanted to take the fight to him.
How do you think he feels about you earning the respect tonight?
Well, you know, I hope now he knows that I'm for real, you know, and that I come to fight. So, and everybody I fight, I want him to know that, win or lose.
I agree. Scott, you always come out to show, you do your big thing. We love having you as part of the XFC. Anything you want to say, any sponsors out there? You want to give any shout-outs, man, to the people out there?
Yeah, man, Gamma Labs, Fist First, Manumission Skincare, the XFC, of course, John Prisco, you, Christopher James, TJ Alcock, Brooke Alcock, all you guys have been really good to me, man. All the local people here in town, man, I just love it. I like to put on a show and have fun with it. For now, I'm going to enjoy the win. And Monday, when we go back to the drawing board, or maybe a week from now, I'm take a little rest. This was a long grind on this camp. We'll see who comes out of the smoke, and I'll fight whoever's next.
Well, thanks for taking the time. So how do we find you on Twitter, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, all those places? Tell me, brother.
At Hot Sauce Holtzy on Twitter, and my Facebook fan page, Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman.
Oh, and now I'd probably get in trouble, but you better say something to your mom right now.
Mom, I love you. Thank you so much for cleaning my house yesterday.
Hey, Scotty, listen, thanks a lot for taking the time. For Cage Side with Christopher James, I'm Christopher James, standing here with my good friend Scotty Hot Sauce Holtzman, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me on.
Man, those guys are both exciting young stars for the XFC. Nate the Train Landwehr is a wild card. He's absolutely a little crazy, and some people refer to him as the Ric Flair of MMA because of his outgoing persona. But I'm going to tell you what, no matter what you see on that interview, when he steps in the cage, he's all business. And then there's Scotty Hot Sauce Holtzman. He wants to be the XFC lightweight champion, but he's got to get through Jason Hicks first to get that shot at Nick Newell. But again, Scotty Holtzman is all business when he walks in the cage. He's overpowering and very dominating when he walks in there, and he comes in to go to work. A lot of that's probably because of his experience being a prison guard and playing semi-pro hockey, you know, and I attribute all of that to the success that this young man has.
Hi, I'm Michael Chavello. You're watching Cage Side with Christopher James.
So here's my interview with Omega Dave from Omega Attire, the best stage builder in the business, and we're going to go right from that to a special news segment with XFC President John Prisco. How you doing? We're here with my good friend Omega Dave, a.k.a. David Gwynn. He's the man behind Omega Attire, and he also happens to be the best stage builder and light hanger in MMA. First of all, Dave, welcome to Cage Side with Christopher James.
Thank you very much. How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. So tell us what's going on, man. How much work do you actually got to put in before you come to an XFC show to get that all running? Because that's amazing work.
Thanks. Man, we take about a week just to prep the show. I'm in the warehouse, pre-rigging stuff, making lights, putting these together, bringing lasers, getting ready to blow stuff up, getting ready to catch stuff on fire, everything I can do for the XFC. So it's about a week prep and 2 days to build it here at the set. Yeah.
Now, you've been with the XFC basically since the beginning in 2007, 2008.
Right.
Now, give us your assessment of the growth of the XFC.
Oh, it's amazing. It's gone from a local show to a regional show, and now it's gone international. I mean, it's hard to see anything with MMA without seeing the XFC. It's just tremendous. Yeah.
What's your favorite part about being a little bit of the family from the XFC, brother?
The staff and just getting to blow stuff up. I love blowing stuff up.
I do see that look on your face from the cage when you're blowing stuff up. I look out there, I'm getting a little scared. So tell everybody real quick about your apparel on Omega Attire. You've been working on that for a few years, and it's starting to grow. I was actually talking to some people yesterday, and they knew who you were.
Yeah, and that's due to the XFC. I started with the XFC second show. Started an apparel company called Omega Attire, and with the growth of the XFCs come the growth of Omega Attire. We've had a great time doing both clothing and production, and I don't even see an end in sight. I just can't wait.
Awesome. Now listen, before I let you go, because I know you got to go blow stuff up,
yeah.
I want you to tell everybody how they can get in touch with Omega Attire, find out about your fight gear and everything.
Go to OmegaAttire.com, and enough sets right there. Yeah.
You heard it right there, OmegaAttire.com for some of the best fight gear you can find anywhere in the world. For the Cage Side with Christopher James show, I'm Christopher James. This is Omega Dave. We'll see you later.
All right, my name's John Prisco. I'm the promoter for XFC. We got a show coming tomorrow night, but now I'm disguised as a reporter for XFC News. There's some protesters over there because Paul Ryan, the running mate of Mitt Romney, is actually coming to the hotel. So I think I should go over and interview a few of these people. I know I'm busy with a promotion, but I gotta find time for this, so come on over. Hi, man. My name is John Prisco. I'm with XFC News. I just wanted to come down. We noticed you folks down here, and Paul Ryan's going to be giving a little speech. I was curious why you're out here.
It's because of the recession started by deregulation under Mr. Bush, and then the housing market and Wall Street trying to get over, and then we had to bail them out, which Bush did. People keep blaming Obama for that, but Bush did that.
Is your goal for this country to be a socialist country?
It is. It is. We have police, we have libraries, we have education, we have, socialism is not a dirty word unless you're talking communism, and we have to look out for one another. That's what we need to do.
But you do want socialism.
We have it, mister.
Okay.
Do you ride on roads?
Yep.
Do you drive your car on roads?
Yes,
Do you go to a library? That's socialism. Do you have a fireman that comes if your house is burning down? That's socialism.
That's socialism.
Yes, it is. In fact, our congressman, who's a jerk, Congressman Fleischman, wants capital gains at zero.
How much tax? How high should the tax rate go? We're the second highest corporate tax rate in the world. How high should we go?
Exxon paid nothing. We should go over nothing.
Can you tell me how high you think taxes should be?
Okay, yeah.
Be specific.
Go back. Yeah, you be specific. How much should they be?
I'm asking you the question.
Okay,
do you pay taxes, man?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've worked and I've paid into Social Security and I've paid into Medicare, and that is not an entitlement. We all have paid into it, and I will pay for this fella here. If he breaks his neck tomorrow, God forbid, I would be willing to support him.
The problem just seems to be that we're running socialism is a great thing until you run out of other people's money, and it seems like we're running out of people's money.
We ain't running out of money. How many houses does Romney have? How many car elevators does he have? How many dressage horses does he have?
How many times has Obama played golf in the last administration?
2.
I was told over 100 times.
Oh, wow. 100 times he played golf.
Isn't that interesting?
That's so terrible. Oh. We should just ruin him for playing golf.
And the trips and the constant trips?
Yeah, and what was Bush W. doing during his administration?
Well, I'm going to have to wrap it up. I wish you the best, man.
My name is Anna Miller Grabowski. I live at and any right-wingers want to come and talk to me, they can. Grabowski. I ain't afraid of you. That's an I for I ain't afraid of you.
He seems angry.
I am angry because they're trying to ruin our country. They're trying to take away our Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid. I'll slow them down, all right. Well, you all going to ruin this anyway, make me look stupid, but thanks for coming.
No. That's what the national media does.
No, we don't do that.
All right, come on, let's go. We're busy. Okay. We have to work for a living.
I tell you what, man, that's the XFC News, the political side, with the president of the XFC, John Prisco. Stay tuned. Cage Side with Christopher James. We'll be right back. Do you need a criminal attorney? Call Eric J. Herman, attorney at law, non-attorney spokesperson. Welcome back to Cage Side with Christopher James, and now we're going to talk with this man. He is the current reigning champion of The Ultimate Fighter Season 16, Arny Ranger, and UFC fighter Colton Smith. How you doing? I'm Christopher James for Cage Side with Christopher James. I am here with the Ultimate Fighter winner himself. He is now moving into the UFC for real. The man himself, the one and only Colton Smith. Colton, man, how are you?
Doing great. Awesome to be here for CFA. Watch some great fights, and here to chill out.
Well, you know, it's an honor to meet you, man. I loved watching you on the show, and you know, a lot of guys that I watched the show with were a little critical of your style, you know, being a wrestler and just, you know, laying down on guys. And I happen to be a fan of what you do, and that fight you had to win the Ultimate Fighter was awesome to me. So what do you think of the people that are critical of your style? And obviously, you know, your style is what wins you fight, so.
You know, the truth of the matter is everyone was on that show had a lot more experience than I had. You know, I mean, 30, 40 pro fights. Some of them had, you know, I had 3 or 4 pro fights going into the house, and I knew, you know, that was the style, that was the game plan I had to implement in order to win the show, and I did that. You know, now we're going back to the drawing board, a lot more striking, a lot more aggressiveness in my striking as well, mixing it up, a lot more footwork. I have great coaches, great striking coaches, great grappling coaches as well, jiu-jitsu coaches, wrestling coaches. So, you know, every time I get in the cage, I feel like I'm a better Colton Smith, and we'll see you next time.
Well, you know, and what you said is really important. You know, you came in as probably the least experienced fighter in the house, and yet you went right through these guys, you know, and you just worked your way to the top. You know, how does that make you feel knowing your experience level and taking on some of these guys that had 10, 11, 12 fights and beating them?
the intestinal fortitude, that I possess, I think it's from my military experience and my past experiences in life, and I knew that was going to play a factor. I believed I could win it. No one else did. I was always the underdog every fight I had, especially the finale. They thought Mike Ricci was going to wipe me out. I knew differently. He trains with GSP, trains some great guys. He's an awesome competitor. I trained with Tim Kennedy, Andrew Craig, a lot of good UFC guys, Strikeforce guys, and I knew what they possess as my training partners, and they pushed me to the next level.
So out of all the guys you fought in the house, including Richie for the championship there, was Richie the toughest fight you had, or was there somebody tougher that you had to face to get to the finals?
Richie was not the toughest fight I had. A guy like John Manley, he's a huge 170-pounder, and probably one of the biggest in the UFC roster now. He got signed with the UFC, so that's a guy to look out for. John Manley, really strong dude. Luckily, I could out-wrestle him as well. But the fight of the season that I had with Fast Eddie Ellis, man, that guy, true veteran of the sport, 50 professional fights, lost one since 2005. Very, very tough dude. And that's how I had the first fight in the house. That's a tough fight to have for a guy like me who's only been fighting pro for a year and a half at that point. So, I think he's a guy to look out for as well. He's 31 years old, 50 pro fights, but he's by far my toughest opponent.
Now, you brought up the fact that you're the least experienced guy in the house in your military training. You really attribute a lot of what you learned in the military and carry it over into the cage?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Where I lack in size, or where I lack in physicality, or where I lack in just overall understanding the game of MMA is, I make up for it, intestinal fortitude, the will to win, just the mental toughness that it takes to be in that house or be in the cage and fight in the cage, be down on the scorecards and find a way to fight back. That's something that's been instilled in me at a young age by my mother as well as in the military.
Well, that's awesome. Now, we're going to talk about some other stuff, but the one thing I wanted to ask you last about the house is, what was the coolest thing about being in the house for you? Because a lot of guys I've talked to have told me their thing. I'm going to see if we're on the same page.
Coolest thing about being in the house for me, there's two things. If you lose, you can eat all the best food in the world you want. You can choose whatever food you want. It's unlimited supply of food and drinks, whatever else you want. But for me, it was honestly probably the training that I got. Roy Nelson, they didn't show it on the show. He brought in some world-class athletes. He brought in some of the best MMA fighters ever to grace us in the octagon. Rashad Evans, Forrest Griffin, Hoist Gracie, the Scrap Pack. You got Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, Gilbert Melendez, Jake Shields, all those guys. He brought all those guys in. They didn't show it on the show, but Roy did a great job bringing in talent to show us what we should emulate our style after.
Speaking of Roy, you obviously went through the all-star list of guys to train you, which is absolutely incredible for a guy like yourself. Roy Nelson, a lot of people are very critical of Roy, but I happen to find him to be an excellent fighter and a good coach. What's your take on Roy?
Yeah, me and Roy, we have a good relationship. He was my coach. I still call him coach. To this day, we still talk every now and then, talk a little business here and there. And Roy's a great coach, and I think. He had a lot more hands-off approach. He understood we already had a base. We were already pro fighters. He's not going to change us and reinvent the wheel in 6 weeks. So instead, if we needed his help, he was there. If we didn't ask for it, he wasn't going to give it. So you had to go, Roy, show me this. Yeah, he'd show you. He's a crafty veteran of the sport. And like I said, he brought in top-notch guys to teach us and mentor us and, for me into being the next Ultimate Fighter. So.
Well, that's awesome, and you did a great job on the show. Now, we're going to move on to what's coming up next for you. A lot of people were talking about you dropping from 170 down to 155, and just a minute ago I asked you how much you weighed, and you said, 195. So going down to 140 or 155, that's a big drop. So you're going to stay at 170 for a little bit?
Yeah, I'm about 197 this morning. I got I got Pat Berry syndrome. I got some big legs, man. With like Tim Kinney, those guys. So.
Didn't you say to me it's the booty?
I got ghetto booty, ghetto booty, and some big calves, man. I carry a lot of weight in my hips and everything, and I think that's why I possess a lot of strength there as well. Where I look outmatched and outsized, I make up for it with my legs. So for now, I'll stay at 70 until the time's right, and I will drop to 55. It's inevitable. But for now, I'm bulking up. Talk to my nutritionist, my strength conditioning coach. Talk to my cornerman. Tim Kennedy, Jared Klontz, Jason Schaefer, and they all told me, they advised me to stay at 170. Let's bulk up a little bit, see how much more meat we can put on the bones, and keep the cardio going. And until I have an issue with another 170-pounder overpowering me, then we'll move down to 155.
Well, it sounds like you're really focused. And, a lot of guys young in their career, they don't have that plan. And it seems like you got a nice plan, and you got people that are guiding your career the proper way.
Yeah. A guy like Tim Kennedy, man, took me under his wing right off the bat, and he's been guiding me how a real professional fighter, professional athlete trains. And he's a true professional athlete. He's a world-class athlete, not even counting MMA. When it comes to working out, nutrition, everything, Tim has it all. That's the guy I'm emulating my style after, lifestyle, not just my fighting style. So being able to train with him, being able to have him under, being under his wing and stuff, for him to give me the tutelage, to take my game to the next level and hopefully make an impact in the UFC.
Well, that's awesome. And do you have anybody in mind? Have they called you yet about your next fight, or you're kind of still waiting in the wings?
No, there's no one yet. Still waiting. There's a lot of fight cards coming up, so I know the UFC is very busy. I'm ready. I'm training hard. Whenever they call me, I'll be ready.
Doesn't matter who they tell you you're going to fight, or are you one of those guys that go, well, obviously styles make fights. So is there any particular people that you wouldn't want to fight, or basically bring on anybody?
I'm here for the challenge. I'm not here for the fame or the money. I never have been, and I said it since day one on the show. Before I got on the show, I'm not in it for the money. If you told me I got a contract with the UFC, cool, 6-figure contract, that's an added bonus. Obviously, money is going to help put my kids through college and everything else, but the biggest thing to me is honestly, just the challenge, going in there and being the underdog, showing the world that I can beat a guy that I had 2-to-1 odds against, or whatever it may be. I'm out there to prove that I can, test myself, test my skills. If sometimes I don't come out on top, I'll go back to the drawing board and find a way to come on top. I'm a fighter. That's what we do. When you start picking fights, it complicates situations, and not good for the promotion, not good for the game. So be a company man, raise your hand, say I'll fight that guy, step in there. If you get knocked out, worst thing's gonna happen in a cage. You wake up humping Herb Dean's leg. That's all. I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen is a single leg in Herb Dean. That's what I always tell people.
Well, hopefully it'll be Kim Winslow and not Herb. I mean, come on.
No comment. I'm not going to say nothing on that.
All right, before I let you go, though, one other thing. How does it feel now getting recognized like you do from all the notoriety you gained on the house and obviously winning the finale? What does that change in your personal life?
I'd say that it's a culmination of a lot of hard work and sweat and tears and blood and all that stuff. But honestly, I've only been in the MMA game, professional for just that 2 years. Only been training full-time for about 5 months. I mean, I was taking fights, training once a week, twice a week. I fought down here at CFA, not training really at all. I was taking pro fights that way. Not smart. I wouldn't advise any young athlete to do that, but I couldn't help it because my military.
Say that one more time and look right at the camera. Listen to what he said, guys. It's very important.
I would not advise any young athlete to try to, go in a cage fight without having any prior training or, not being in shape and stuff like that. I was in shape because of the military, but the biggest thing was I wasn't training like a fighter. Now I'm training like a fighter. I'm still a soldier, still a leader, first and foremost, no matter what, but I'm still training full-time. My wife supports me. Everything's great. I mean, life's awesome, so I'm ready for the next challenge.
Well, that's awesome. Before I let you go, tell everybody at home how they can get in touch with you and keep up with your career.
Yeah, go ahead and check me out at Colton Smith MMA. That's my Twitter handle, as well as Colton Smith MMA fighter page. I got a fighter page on Facebook. You can go to fan page, and pretty soon, coltonsmith.com.
That's awesome. So you get the website, you get the Twitter. Well, listen, I want to tell you it's an honor to meet you, man. All the respect in the world for what you've done, and not just in the cage, but what you do for our country, as a member of the military. And God bless you, and all the respect in the world to you, man. And I look forward to great things in your career.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, you got him right here, Colton Smith. He told you how to get in touch with him. You're Cage Side, and I'm Christopher James. Colton Smith is no doubt about it for real, and you better take him serious, not just because of his fighting skills, but the guy's an Army Ranger, so he knows what it is to go in there and do battle, and if you take him lightly, you're going to be on the short end of the stick. So I hope you guys stay tuned in. Don't forget to check out our website, mymmashow.com. Follow us on Facebook at Cage Side with Christopher James, and on Twitter at MyMMAShow. I'd like to thank everybody that was a part of the show today. John Prisco, Omega Dave, Nate the Train Landwehr, Scotty Holtzman, and Colton Smith. And also my good friend Ken Bradley, who's our producer, our director, our cameraman, basically an all-around hell of a nice guy. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. I'm Christopher James, and you're Cage Side.